Hello and welcome to Huddersfield Town's post-match show in association with Sportsbroker after a 2-1 defeat at home to AFC Bournemouth. To help us go over the action and analyse what went wrong, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by former Huddersfield Town defender Calum and David Hartrick from Opta. How are you both? You okay?
Good, thank you. Yeah, good, thank you.
Excellent. David, I'll start with you. Ultimately, it's a really, really frustrating one against a very good Bournemouth side.
Yeah, I think everything you say has to be caveated with just how good that Bournemouth side was. I mean, their bench was, I'd say there's probably 4 players who would get straight into Huddersfield Town's first team on their bench, never mind who was actually playing. But also it was a little bit of Town's season in microcosm, really, in that gave them a head start and then managed to put together a decent performance in the second half. But that lack of cutting edge again hurt them. And it's a shame, really, because that second half performance, you could argue they could have got something from that game.
Yeah, the second half was the big positive, wasn't it, Calum? It just looked like there was more energy, more options going forwards.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought second half, Huddersfield were really good. There was a lot of pressure on Bournemouth, especially after we got the goal. And I thought down the left-hand side, that's where it was going to come from. Lewis O'Brien, excellent again. I said this last time I was on. Even him from left-back, a lot of good play down there from him. And then from Rowe as well in the first half as well. He had a couple of good chances. So, yeah, after Hoggy scored the goal, it looked like that we could have actually got another one later on in the game.
What do you think changed in that second half, David? Do you think it was just the influence of Rolando Aarons coming onto the pitch? Do you think we switched anything up in particular tactically?
I think changing the personnel helped, because the first half there were 1 or 2 who were chasing shadows a little bit with just the way that Bournemouth move the ball. They're so quick to transition from defence to midfield. It's just untrue. They get on the front foot so quickly that I think just having a couple of outlets when they brought Thomas on as well really, really helped them, just to basically just release the pressure a bit. But also I think, you have to say that Bournemouth backed off a little bit. They were 2-0 up. They were still, it's not like they had flip-flops on or anything, but there's no denying that they retreated back 5 or 10 yards, and with Town now having those outlets, it just let them come onto them a little bit more. And as I said, it's a shame, because with that a little bit more cutting edge, they could have got something from that game. They were so unlucky with Lewis's shot that hit the underside of the bar and still managed to go out for a goal kick. Really good, brilliant finish, really, it would have been. And that was a real shame.
Yeah, the subs really made a difference, didn't they, Calum? They added energy, speed and more attacking options onto the field.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like that second half, that's what I feel like, to be honest. I feel like that they were missing the fans. Like, they're the sort of games that you need the fans behind you, and if you've got the fans there, they spur you on. It's massive for you, like, you know what I mean? And why we haven't got them at the minute, it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely is. And David, like you said, this game kind of summed up the season in terms of causing our own downfall. I mean, the opening 2 goals both came from our own mistakes.
Yeah, it's just turning over possession again, and against a team like Bournemouth, they just so ridiculously quick on the front foot. They've got so many ways to hurt you. I mean, we're sort of sitting here, I think it's quite good that we're sitting here saying that Town caused their own problems in a way, because Bournemouth have taken apart some teams this year, including Huddersfield Town down at their place. But I think it was the second goal that was the really disappointing one, because it's the timing of it as well. You get through to half time at 1-0 and then put in that second half performance. Town could genuinely have got something from that game, but it was just a real sucker punch. And we shouldn't take anything away from the finish, though, because there was still a lot to do when it came to Solanke. And I mean, what a hit that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the first one, Calum, obviously Richard Keogh gave the ball away. Do you think it was just a bit of rash thinking, being pressed by Bournemouth, just missing that little bit of composure, or do you think he just got it wrong?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of both, to be honest. Bournemouth put good pressure on at times, don't they? They press the ball really well at times, and they win the ball, and that's how they counter attack as well. That's how they got the second goal as well, on a counter attack by us giving the ball away. And to be honest, that's what happened quite a bit in the first half, and that was the difference between the first half and the second half. That I felt like Huddersfield kept the ball a lot better, and when we kept the ball better, that's when we created more chances and got into better goal scoring opportunities.
Yeah, you could see that, especially with the second goal as well. Obviously, Romani Edmonds-Green tried to find a player in the middle of the pitch when there was equally an option kind of down the line. I guess it's just that decision making, isn't it, Calum, in certain times of the game?
It is, yeah, but obviously on another day, like, you could give that ball away and then we win the ball back. But unfortunately tonight, gave the ball away and then they went away and scored. And as David said, it was a great finish. There was no stopping it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good finish. David, we touched upon obviously Rolando Aarons coming on at half time, but how good was it to see him back on the pitch? We saw him on the right hand side, which is the first time really we've seen him over there for a sustained number of minutes. How do you think he got on?
I think he actually did really, really well. You could tell he's got a little bit of ring rust. There was the penalty shower at the end where I think he actually stood on the ball in truth. And you can see he's going to take a while to get his touch back. But I think the more ways Town can sort of find different angles and different ways to get at a defence, because that first half, everything was very, very straight, and you know, you need to just find a different way you need to ask a different question. And I thought him and Thomas, when they came on, they actually dovetailed each side quite well. And I think with Aarons, I think that Town fans have yet to see the best of him because he got injured so early into that move. And yeah, I thought it was pretty promising. But I think the other thing is it was good to see Danny Ward get some more minutes again, because I think when you've got two players potentially like Thomas and Aarons and a bit of a sort of sniffer type in Danny Ward, I think that could be, if we can get all three of them really fit and in really good nick, that could potentially be quite a potent front three.
Yeah, there certainly are the positives there. And Rolando, like you said, David, there was a penalty appeal when he seemed to trip over the ball. But there was one a little bit later on as well, Calum, when the game was 2-1. It looked to, one of his shots, I think, looked to strike the arm of a defender, but equally it's one of those, isn't it, that sometimes you see them given, sometimes you don't get them.
Yeah, as you said, there was a couple of shouts for them penalties. The one where he looked like he fell over the ball, which in real time it looked like a penalty to me, but then when it was slowed down, I didn't think it was. And then it did actually, when he cut inside and had the shot, I did think it struck the arm. So on another day, you'd get that. And especially, as I said before, if the fans were there and you had the fans cheering on, you just never know with them sort of decisions with the referee.
This is the positive thing, isn't it, Calum? We're coming away from this game against Bournemouth that have been in great form under Jonathan Woodgate, pushing for promotion to the Premier League, and it's literally just to find margins, our own mistakes, and some things not going our way, and that's the reason really why we've not come away with anything.
Yeah, definitely. You need a little bit of luck at times as well. And tonight we didn't really get the luck with their goals, the times that we gave the ball away and things like that. So you just got to think of it now that it's 5 games left, isn't it now? 5 massive games, really. You know what I mean? But going into the next game, you've got to take the positives out of this game. That's just been so, and I think we finished the game really strong, so hopefully you can take that into the next game.
Yeah, and Jonathan Hogg scored as well, David.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I mean, he doesn't get many, but it was a really, really good header. And if you look at the run he makes across the defender as well, it was worthy of somebody who chips in with 15 goals a season, to be fair to him. It was a great header. I'm sure he enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, he'll tell you that he was a striker in Aston Villa's academy. There'll be a stat, I'm sure, for yourself or Steve to look out to see whether he's scored a professional goal with his head.
Yeah, I was. Do you know, that was one of the things I wanted to look up, but we were so quick up all time. I haven't had a chance. There's certainly nothing that comes to mind in any of the sort of litany of Jonathan Hogg goals we've got to look at. But yeah, no, I think that could be the first one from his head. It was. I will say on a serious note, though, it was good to see Town get one from a set piece again, because that's an area that I don't think they've exploited anything like enough this season. And a bit of quality at set pieces could have been another 5, 6, 7 goals for them this season. So yeah, hopefully that's something to build on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Calum, you mentioned Aaron Rowe a little bit earlier on. I just wanted to touch upon him, because he was really the main outlet, wasn't he? The brightest spark for us in that first half.
He was in the first half. He looked like the only one who was going to actually make something happen. Well, him and Lewis O'Brien down the left hand side. He was cutting in onto his right foot, and he did have a couple of really good efforts at goal, which the keeper, I don't know, the one got deflected and the keeper made a good save with one of the other ones as well. And so that's what you want to see. You want to see more positive play like that and more chances created, because I think they were the only couple in the first half chances that we had.
Yeah, we've seen glimpses of him, haven't we, David, all season, and we've touched upon Rolando Aarons coming back. Obviously, Josh Koroma, Carol Eiting are both back in training as well. They could be vital coming into the last 5 games of the year.
Yeah, very much so. It was good. Carol Eiting was actually in the stands with us, wasn't he? And it was good to see him moving about normally. You know, last time I saw him was on crutches. So, yeah, I think my personal opinion is I think Town are pretty much there or thereabouts anyway, because I think it would be a quite extraordinary turnaround for them to get sucked into it from here. But what I think would be good is just to finish the season on a bit of a high. You know, this club has been so close on so many occasions this season, and yet we're sitting here, and I think they've only won 2 games in the calendar year to date. And there's been a few games where they haven't played well enough. There's been a few games where they've just played better sides, but they just, it feels like at some point they're going to put 90 minutes together. I think the closest we've come this season is probably Millwall away. They've not really had a complete performance, and you wonder if sort of an Eiting coming back or a Koroma, like you say, or someone like that can just knit everything together a little bit better, and we can actually see a 90 minutes. It's probably going to come when the pressure is off, as it always does. But they just feel like a side that once that pressure valve is off a bit, they may well turn around and sort of beat someone 3-0 in a really comfortable game where they play really well.
Yeah, hopefully that will come soon. Just finally, Calum, David said there he doesn't think we'll really get kind of sucked into it, but I suppose to put everyone at ease, 3 points on Saturday, for example, would certainly do that. I mean, going into the last few games, they are basically all cup finals now, aren't they? Just to get us over the line.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to leave it too late. You know what I mean? You don't want to leave it down to them last few games of the season where you're starting to worry a little bit. So you can go on Saturday and get a good result and a win there and pick up the 3 points. That'd be great. Yeah,
absolutely. Calum, David, thank you very much for joining us, and Town fans, thank you for watching.